So obviously I've already taken the liberty of taking the handle off of this thing. But this is the little pressure washer we're going to be doing some work on. And I'm going to get everything situated and get the camera on the tripod. Alright, so obviously this thing is a horizontal shaft Honda engine, single cylinder. So first thing we can do is, I already know it needs carb work, because the owner told me that when it runs it misses. It does run, but apparently it dies out occasionally, so it's definitely a carburetor issue. At least I'm 99% sure. But we're also going to check the oil, see what kind of shape the oil is in. And it's actually a little over full, because you're only supposed to take this oil up to about midway to the threads. So we'll have to address this. The oil itself does look fairly clean. They are pretty good about taking care of their stuff. Even though this thing's a little over full of oil, that's not really a big deal to me. I will change the oil anyways. But first we're going to check. Let's check the spark plug. It's got an NGK spark plug, that's good. But we're just going to pull it out. It's actually in there a little loose. We'll pull it out and see how it looks. Looks like it was recently replaced. I'll check the gap on it too. Alright, so we're checking it at 30 thousandths. A little on the low side. There we go. Perfect. Might have been a 28 or 29, but in between 28 to 31 thousandths is where you want it to be. So a good rule of thumb is usually 30, and they run fine like that. Just a little tight. There we go. And so of course it looks like we got to put in a little bit of work, but we'll check the filter. Filter's in really good condition. I don't even need to blow it out. So it's been a minute since I've worked on one of these, but it's like any other Honda, they all come off pretty much the same. I am going to remove the gas tank, just to kind of flop it to the side. Let's see if there's any fuel in it. I think there is. Actually there's not, it's bone dry. So that's good, I don't have to worry about that. So I'm just going to break them. Be one more down here, which there is, and of course the tire might be in the way here. I'm just going to pull that bottom nut out. There we go. So yeah, it is in fact empty, bone dry. So we'll just set it to the side kind of like this. Ain't gonna hurt nothing. So now we got the air hat, which we got to remove. PCV line off. There's that. And we should have a carburetor linkage spring that's on here somewhere. Spring's back here, but first I gotta get all this stuff off and out. That line's off. Now we can pull this linkage off. Just let that set where it is. So I'm just going to pull off this other part of this fuel line. Alright, so here we are. Pull this thing off. And it's more than likely going to need a good cleaning. You can already kind of tell. Yeah. Some varnish and crap inside. So we'll clean that out as best we can. The needle looks good. Pin's clean. I am going to pull that center jet out. In order to do that, I'm going to have to grab a little screwdriver. Also got a small piece of wire. But first, we're going to pull this jet out. It is filthy in here. And I'm going to show you guys a little trick. Line it up with the screw and get yourself a little rubber mallet, kind of seat it in, and I can see it spinning. There we go. I can already see a little hole in there. Definitely needs to be wallered out a bit, reamed out, wherever you want to call that. And we're just going to make sure to give that a good run through. Have a look at this, and this definitely looks dirty. In fact, I might just spray this beforehand. Now I can actually see through it. I couldn't see through it before at all. That end is nice and cleaned out now. That's likely where our issues were coming from. But now I'm just going to look all of this over, make sure there's nothing else that needs to be cleaned. You can see that yellow fluid that's coming out of there. That's all varnish and old gas. And I'm just going to clean out every little area of this thing. Sometimes these floats can become old and brittle, and they'll crack. This one still looks okay. As I said earlier, the needle looks good. I'm not even worried about that. Marry these back up. Perfect. If we do need to turn this bowl around for whatever reason, we can do that. It's not a big deal. Alright, so now we're ready to put it back on the machine. Now here's the fun part, putting everything back together. Now, I'm just kind of threading these bolts back in to make things a little bit easier on me. But we do need to reconnect our choke linkage. Okay, there's that. And back on. So this clip back over. Good thing about using smooth edge pliers is you can't really damage rubber all that easy. Throw that linkage back on and our little spring. So you can see there's a little hole right here. And that's going to match up right with this hole right there. Just like that. We're through the other side. So right now I'm just starting it. You guys can't really see it all that well. But basically I'm just making sure that everything gets sandwiched in there properly, especially this gasket and plate right here. Well, the plate that holds the two gaskets. So, but you want to make sure that that's on correctly, and it is. So I also do need to reconnect this vacuum line to the bottom of the fuel pump. These little engines aren't the easiest to work on, that's for damn sure. But of course there is a little bit of a trick to getting fuel lines back on that are stubborn to get off, and that's just to use a little bit of Vaseline or petroleum jelly, and that'll get them right on. Alright, that's good. Make sure our choke still works. It does. Throttle still works. Alright, so now I'm going to change the oil. Pull that out. Got a small measuring funnel here. Alright. Took out about 20 ounces or so. We're going to put back in probably about 16, go from there. I think, like I was saying, it was a little over full. Alright. These really long funnels come in handy. We're going to finish off this 5-quart jug I've got. Should be more than enough in here. About half a quart or so. Alright, so now to check the level. Don't know how well the camera can see that, but it's right where it should be. So we'll just screw her back in. Now I just got to put some gas in it. Part 2 we'll get a demo video hopefully for you guys, but this is basically how you would service any GX160 or 190 Honda horizontal shaft engine. I actually do really like these engines. Stay tuned for more.